Hi everyone and welcome back. If this is your first time on my channel, my name is Khandy and I want you to first go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can know when I upload new videos. Just so you know, I do have a husband and a baby in the room because this is like a family thing we have going on here. So you may hear a baby, you may hear my husband, you may see me stop and talk to him, and it's okay because this is not like a professional enterprise we have going on. We are a family making a YouTube channel to help with questions based around adoption. So in my first video, I pretty much just gave a quick rundown as to what my channel was about, which is about adoption. And in this video, I just want to kind of jump into how we came to the decision to adopt the baby. So, Kenny and I, we got married, and 5 years into our marriage, Kenny were you deployed 5 years into our marriage? Yes, I believe it was 5 years into our marriage. No, was it?
So
yeah,
3 years in.
No, it was not 3 years in.
I married in 2011. I went to Afghanistan in 2014.
So 3 years in. Really?
Mm-hmm.
3 years into our marriage, Kenny got deployed to Afghanistan. During that time, I had become very sick when he was overseas, and the doctors just really couldn't figure out what was going on, and went through a bunch of tests, and I ended up having surgery a few days before he got back home. He was, I think, in Kuwait at the time. And at that time, I was diagnosed with stage 5 endometriosis. And at my post-op video, the doctor said in plain, clear English, if you guys want to try to have a baby, this is exactly what we're going to have to try to do. And we're going to have to start this immediately. I never in a million years thought this would be something that Kenny and I would have to deal with, because we were that couple that we like to travel, and we were thinking more long term, and we weren't thinking children short term. So we didn't think that there was like a time limit as to when we would have to try to start to have children. So we, jump started, and I went full blown into medical treatments for myself to try to be able to get pregnant naturally, and it just didn't work. So we did jump into the fertility route, and looking back at it in hindsight, I just wish I wouldn't have done it, because it tore my body apart. It's a hard thing for women to go through, but it was a long journey. It took a few years, and at the end of that time, I think both of us were just drained mentally and emotionally, and we kind of just shoved the baby idea, and almost just like didn't speak about it. It was just like everyone around us was having kids and, going on with their lives. And Kenny and I were traveling and going on with our lives, but there was just no baby. And I was working one day, and I decided to Google adoption agencies. And an adoption agency popped up, and it was the first one that popped up. And I guess it's because how they pop up alphabetically. And their name is Angel Adoption Inc. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not getting paid for this. But I decided to contact them. And I spoke with a young woman named Katie. And it was an amazing conversation. She was just warm and bubbly. And I got off the phone with her, and I filled out the application, not knowing what would happen. But I filled out the application and submitted it, and she gave me a call back and said, when would you like to set up a phone interview? I was excited because I'm like, this is it. We're going to have a baby. I came home, and Kenny popped that bubble because he heard the fee. And knowing we were just going through fertility treatments and life, and those prices add up. And men, they more so think, I would like, let me not generalize it as men. I always say Kenny is very black and white, right or wrong, and I'm very gray. I'm more so, and Kenny's like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it is. And so Kenny kind of shut me down, and I was so upset that I took everything that had to do with that adoption. I just kind of shelved it. So when I even got the packet in the mail from them, I just put it in my junk drawer. You know how every woman has that junk drawer in the kitchen? I put it in the junk drawer and shelved it. And that was January of 2018. Let's fast forward to September of 2018. We live in coastal Carolinas. And we stayed here during Hurricane Florence. And Hurricane Florence was a really bad hurricane. And we were one of those people that decided that we could stay here and weather the storm. It was supposed to be a Category 4 hurricane. And we're from New York. And we're used to snow. So we said, how bad could a Category 4 be? Thank God it was a 1. Because the 1 was really bad. And at that time, unbeknownst to me, the nail tech that I had, her and her husband, which was also a young African-American couple, they were going through an adoption process. And she told me how quick their match was, how fast it was, and how seamless it was. And so we decided to go ahead and apply for their adoption agency. I don't know if we just had like an epiphany during that hurricane time and we're just like, you know what, this is it. This is the right time to do it. And so we applied for that agency and we were able to set up a phone interview, and it was just not a right match for us. They were very faith-based, and that's not who Kenny and I are necessarily. We believe in God, but we are not in church every Sunday and Bible study every Tuesday and Thursday. We're just good people. And so I went into my junk drawer and found the packet that Angel sent because I knew I still had it. And I called back and I spoke with Katie. And Katie immediately was like, oh my gosh, Khandy, how have you been? And we just spoke and she asked how Kenny was doing. And she said, oh my gosh, yes, we'd love to set up a phone interview. And we set up a phone interview for the following week. My work schedule was all over the place. I was out of town maybe 3 to 4 nights a week, like out of town, like not at home. And Kenny's schedule was all over the place with work. And so we set up a phone interview for the first time that we knew that we were going to be home together. And the interview went great. It was just so much different from the other agency. And I think that those things are very important because we felt comfortable with them. And, you know, at the end of the phone call, they let us know that their wait list was very long. And they only had 2 slots available for the upcoming month. And so they would let us know within 7 days if we were accepted into the program. We got off the phone and we had a conversation. And the next morning we woke up and we had an email from them. And it was a welcome to Angel Adoption Inc. We'd love to have you. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is happening. So, you know, immediately you get into this mindset as to, well, if we decide to do this, you now have this huge commitment that you have to make financially after you've already made this huge commitment financially and emotionally and physically to the fertility treatment route that you decided to go through for years prior. And we decided to kind of just jump into it head first. So we signed the check and we mailed it off, and, you know, they got it. And as soon as they got it, we got phone calls. I feel like we got phone calls and emails from everyone because it's just like they just start working for you. It's almost like it's like one of those things that you see in a movie that it's like you're like this rich couple and you just show up somewhere and you have all these people behind you and they're just working for you. That's almost like what it was working with Angel. And people were ready to like start building a profile, and we had a preference call, and we had all these different things like lined up, and it was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And it was hard again because our different work schedules trying to fit everything in. So we were able to build our profile. I think that was the first thing that we did, and select a home study agency. And we did those 2 things, and those things went seamless. I think we were probably 4 weeks in, and I got a phone call. I was on my way to work. I was probably 5 minutes into my drive, and I got a call saying that a birth mom saw our profile and wanted to talk to us. And it was like almost like I choked. It was like, what? Because Kenny and I initially, because, you know, once you start this adoption journey, I mean, I went head first in. This is not Kenny. This was almost like my thing. This was like my project. And, you know, you start reading all these blogs, you get into these Facebook groups and Instagram groups and posts and everything. And, you know, the average wait time was like about 15 to 18 months. And that's the time frame that we gave ourselves. And so when we got this phone call a month in, I'm like, whoa, wait a second. So we made contact with the birth mom, and it didn't end up working out. No fault to ourselves or her. It was just kind of the laws of her state. She was a minor, and her mother ended up had legal custody of the baby. But what that did was that kind of set the fire under my butt, because all that let me know was, okay, this can happen much faster than we anticipated. So, for the next few weeks, our lives continued to go as normal. You have some people that I've read, they set up full-blown nurseries and they start just preparing for baby. They do all these things. As to Kenny and I, our lives didn't change. We were planning vacation. Our dog had a surgery scheduled, like double knee replacement surgery. And our lives were just going to go on as scheduled, because life doesn't stop, because I wasn't pregnant. And that's exactly what happened. And you fast forward, and because that birth mom had selected us, our home study got finished a little quicker, because that was a potential adoption. So everything got finished a little bit faster. So our dog was scheduled to have surgery the week of Christmas. And I had this gut feeling. I kept on telling Kenny, something doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. We need to cancel the surgery. It doesn't feel right to me. We need to cancel the surgery. And I'm one of those people, like, you need to follow your gut. You need to follow your gut. You need to follow your gut. So I called and I canceled the surgery. It was Christmas night. This is not the way Christmas is for Kenny and I. The last few Christmases, we spent it in Paris, and Christmas and New Year's. And it was like we were just home. Kenny was upstairs. He got DJ equipment for Christmas, and he's upstairs acting like it's a party. And I'm sitting on the couch, and we don't have a huge social media presence. And I made a social media page, and I put our business, which is not like me, I put our business out there on social media. And, I said that we were Khandy and Kenny, and I put, everything, and I put that we were pretty much looking to adopt a baby, and that we had no preference, as far as race or gender, and we were open to siblings, or multiples. And, I just took a page off of the profile that Angel had built for us, because they built us this beautiful profile. And I made a Facebook page, like Kenny and Khandy looking to adopt, and I posted it. I didn't tell Kenny, because I didn't see the need to tell Kenny, really. I mean, we're on this journey together. And the next morning I woke up, and we had so many comments on the page, and so many people were like, can I share this? Can I share this? Can I share this? I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. So that was December 25th. I did that. And then December 26th, I had so many people saying, can I share? Can I share? Can I share? Can I share? And of course I said, yes, I made it public so that they could share it. I had taken that day off of work, and that's the day Kenny went back to work. It was about maybe 3:45. I was sitting on the couch doing work for the next day of work. I had to go out of town. And I saw my caller ID on my cell phone that our adoption consultant, like our coordinator, because you have a specific coordinator that's assigned to you with our agency, she was calling. And it was almost like I was like, do they not get a day off? Like, why are you calling me the day after Christmas? And I picked up the phone, and she was like, hey, Khandy. And I was just like, hi. And she was like, how was your Christmas? And I was like, it was fine. Almost like not annoyed, but just like, do you not have a day off? And she was like, so I have a potential opportunity. And in my mind, I'm like, for what? And she was like, so there was a baby born yesterday on Christmas Day. And I'm like, okay. And she was like, and so she's running down the situation, and she's like, and I wanted to know if it was okay for me to show your profile to birth mom. And I'm like, yeah. And she said, do you want to talk to Kenny about it? I said, no. No, I don't want to talk to Kenny about it. Like, do it, get it done. Let me rewind as to why I put it on Facebook. Because this became a very urgent situation. On December 22nd or December 21st, we got orders to move to Okinawa, Japan. Japan, okay? Like across the pond, across the seas, oceans, okay? Where's Japan? What ocean is that? We don't even know, okay? Far, far, far away. 22-hour flight. So the adoption would have been null and void. It wouldn't have happened. We would have had to shelf the idea until we got back. At that point, I would have been 42, 40, whatever I would have been. You don't know where you're going to be in life. And it's just like, I have zero patience. I want to do it now. And when I called Kenny called me that morning. And when he told me, my number one concern was not that we had to move, was that we just signed this adoption contract and just paid all this money. And Janae, our adoption coordinator, the first thing she said was, I don't think the wait is going to be long for you guys. I think we should keep the contract open up until at least March. And she said, because you have military orders, we can expedite the rest. And I said, okay, but I was paranoid. And that's why I put it on Facebook, because otherwise I would have just left it to the gods and it would have been fine. So I got off the phone with Janae and I immediately called Kenny and I was like, where are you? Like, how far away are you? And he said, I'm leaving base now. And I just started like word vomiting and I was like, and he was like, all right, I'll be home in 10 minutes. So he came home, and I think this is what Kenny and I normally do when something is happening that we're not in control of. We kind of just sit quietly. Like, we don't really talk about it. And we work well in situations that aren't in our control. I think we've always done well like that. And so we kind of just sat. And Janae ended up calling us back, and she said, okay, here's birth mom's number. She wants to speak with you guys. And so I sent her a text, and that's because I saw her age. And I know a lot of times a certain demographic of people, they don't like to verbally speak. I prefer to speak. They prefer to text. So I said, would you prefer? I texted her and I said, hey, this is Khandy with Angel. I said, hey, this is Khandy and Kenny with Angel. Would you prefer for me to call you or text you? And she said, either's fine. So I responded and I said, I'm going to call you. So it was like game on, because it's almost like a job interview. You don't know what someone is looking for, you know what I mean? Because you applied for the job, but you didn't apply for the job. So you don't really know what the requirements are that they're looking for. So we left the dogs in the kitchen dining room area and we went into our rooms, because again, you don't know if somebody's afraid of dogs. If they hear the dogs barking in the background or something, then we're like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid of dogs. I don't want my children around dogs. All these things play in your head. I'm telling you, my mind was like, so we go in our bedroom. I think we kind of sat on the floor. While we're sitting on the floor, I don't know, but it was comfortable for us. We go in our room. We sit on the floor. I call her. And we have this conversation, and I think it's short. I don't know. What was the conversation with her? 5-10 minutes?
Yeah, it was super short.
It was super short. 5 minutes, maybe. 10 minutes, maybe. And, you know, the way the conversation ended, and I mean, we got the basics out. What Kenny does, what I do, what she does, and, you know, small background here and there. And, you know, it was just ended. It was just... okay, well, it was so good speaking with you, and I hope to hear from you soon. And, okay, so someone from Angel will be in contact with both of us, because that's just how it is. You know, birth mom coordinator will be in contact with her, and our coordinator will be in contact with us. Then the wait happens again. We sat in the room quiet again. And maybe 45 minutes later, our coordinator, Janae, called us, and she said these exact words. She said, how quick can you get to Memphis? And Kenny and I looked at each other and we said, oh my God. We said, we can be in the car by 10. And we got off the phone and just started like, I think I threw like 4 pairs of black leggings, 3 hoodies, a coat, and a pair of shoes in a suitcase. But we packed. Kenny probably do the same thing, but sweatpants and a pair of jeans, sneakers, hoodies, and a jacket. But we packed everything for the dogs. I mean, everything you think of. And we booked a hotel. And we got in the car. And we took off. During the entire drive, the 14-hour drive, we didn't discuss this situation one time. Because it was like, what was there to really talk about? Because you don't know, you know? We didn't have an attorney. Our home study wasn't finalized. There was so much stuff up in the air, but here we are driving 14 hours to get to this hospital because birth mom was very specific as to she wanted us there before she got discharged. And so that was very important. So we were watching the clock because we knew what time she was being discharged as far as what her care team told her at the hospital. So we drove, we took 2 or 3 potty breaks for the dogs, and I don't even think we ate. I don't think Kenny and I stopped to eat at all. And we got to the hotel. We let the dogs potty. We brought them upstairs. I brought my flat iron and curling iron and a cute outfit to spruce myself up. I didn't even change. I didn't do anything. I was just like, let's get to the hospital. But before we got to the hospital, we had to get in contact with our social worker to make sure that the home study was finalized and everything was good before we could get there. Thank God she was able to get everything done in a very quick time. And she sent it over to our attorney, who then was able to send it over to birth mom's attorney. And then they gave us the okay to get to the hospital. We got to the hospital and it was like our lives changed forever just by the snap of a finger. I tell you, when you pray for something, be prepared for that prayer to be answered, because that's exactly what I did. I was praying for this every single day for a very short period of time, because what I didn't say in the beginning was our journey was 52 days. 52 days, so short of 2 months. And we got to the hospital, we met birth mom, we saw the baby, we left where the baby was, we went back into birth mom's room, attorney came, notary came, papers were signed, birth mom was discharged, and we were parents. Just that quick. Just that quick, we were parents. We didn't have a onesie. No one knew we were in Memphis. Like, we didn't call our parents. We didn't do, because we're grown. We don't need to do anything. I think who we called was the pet sitters, because we didn't know, you know what I mean? So we were just like, well, maybe we should leave them. And then we said, no, we didn't know how long we were going to be out of town, so we should take them. But it was just like, all of a sudden your prayer was answered like this. So, to me, our story is short of perfect. Angel adoption to me was our angel. I have all these notes and I literally don't even know if I said everything that was on there. But yeah, I think so. So that was our adoption story. 52 days from the day that we signed our contract to the day that we had our daughter, and then we finalized the adoption 4 months after. So my advice to you would be, if you don't start your home study prior to signing an adoption contract, which you have some people that do, start your home study as soon as possible, because that's what made this go so smooth, is the fact that nothing else needed to be done with our home study. But we were able to get the most perfect baby ever in the world. She's over there right now sitting on her daddy's lap watching baby bum. And that's it. So I would love to know a little bit about your stories and your experiences, how long your wait was, if your experiences with your agencies or your self-matching was good, just exactly how it went, because, again, each story is unique. Each story, every couple, every individual that adopts, their story is unique. Our story is very unique. I left out some parts because our daughter was born early. That's a whole nother video. But I would encourage you to please comment below. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what you didn't like. And I, of course, will upload another video and you will see that shortly. But thank you so much for watching. Again, I am Khandy. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you can see when I upload new videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.